Thank you for watching Ebony Ladies in the DR. I'm your host, Bridget. Bienvenidos a mi canal. Gracias por mirar. Today, guys, we are back. I'm going to call us the dynamic duo of Punta Cana. You know, I always got to give everything a title. So why not? Dynamic duo of Punta Cana. So we did the Vista Cana episode and talked about Vista Cana. And even though we emphasized how the driver, the tour guide said, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, we got 1 million comments, 1 million questions.
Yes.
My WhatsApp, I woke up the next morning, I had 23 messages
I get emails
about Vista Cana. Everybody, oh, I love it, I want to live there. And then the questions start about the financing and about the money. So this is our follow-up today.
Yes.
We're going to talk to you about buying in Vista Cana, in Punta Cana, period. So that, you know, you don't get your hopes all up high, and then when it's time to start talking about the money, you feel like your dream has been squashed, because that's not our goal. We don't want to do that. Our mission on Ebony Ladies in the DR is always to just keep you informed and give you all of the information. So that's what we're doing today. So I'm actually sorry to start. I'll let you start out with reserving in Vista Cana. Tell them, like a majority of the properties, what is the completion time? A year and a half? Let's start from there, and then I'll ask questions.
Okay. So buying at Vista Cana and any other new construction project, it depends on when you get into the project. Are you getting into the project right at the beginning, and then you have the 2-year completion time, or are you getting into the project closer to their delivery time?
Okay.
So your payment plans are going to depend on how soon you're getting into the project. Most projects take 2 years to complete. So let's say somebody gets in early. They have usually a 10% deposit that they have to reserve with $2,000, but also a 10% deposit within 15 to 30 days of the payment. You have a $200,000 property that you want, you're paying that $20,000 within 15 to 30 days of you reserving the property.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there. So y'all listen. $200,000, right?
$20,000 as a deposit.
$20,000 is your deposit. So just do your math. If you don't have that saved up, then maybe it's not the right time to think about investing in a second home, if that's going to be your second home, or maybe you just need to save a little bit longer and come and rent. But those are the numbers. Those are real numbers. Those are US dollars.
Yes.
You know, so a lot of people just don't have $20,000 laying around that they can just, you know, give out and not going to be doing anything with for 2 years, or living in a property for 2 years.
And as opposed to the US, we do have higher deposits here.
Right, much higher.
Because the construction company also, you're not working, this is not a bank. They're giving you an option to make payments during the construction time.
Right.
So the payments are usually larger and the deposits are larger.
And the time frame
is shorter. So you have 2 years to pay for the property. So like I said, 10% once you reserve the unit. Let's say you have the full 24 months for the completion of the project. Now you get into a 30% down that you have to split the 30%, which is $60,000 out of the $200,000 property. Now you have $60,000 that you have to come up with during the 24 months until the project is completed. Now you're down to 40%.
Right.
Then the 60% you have to come up with at the time of completion. When they give you that key, you have to come up with the $60,000. Options you have is getting into a mortgage with the bank. Why they leave usually 60% to the end of completion? Because that's what a bank would usually lend to foreigners, which is usually 60-70% if you're lucky. But Bridget has more information about bank financing. But this was all the info on buying new construction project. If you get into a project closer to their delivery, let's say they have a year or 6 months to deliver the property, now you have to understand you have those 6 months to come up with the 100%.
Right. And so in my opinion, I would pass on new construction if I don't have all the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would actually wait until the project is done, and if it's for you, it'll be something there available that one of us can sell to you and you can move in, versus putting out all these chunks of money. But I think some people think, people that do have it and could do the payment plan, their feelings are, well, I'm not paying any interest on it.
That's one of the benefits.
And to me, that's really the only real benefit is you're not paying any interest on it, and you're not having to take all of your money out of the bank and pay it right then.
One other benefit would be the comfort tour. Most of the new construction projects come with the tax exemption. Most of them, not all of them. You have to make sure that it does come with it. What's the benefit of the comfort tour? It's an exemption law given to construction companies in the area so that they can pass this benefit on to the foreigners investing in the country. That means that you would save 3% transfer tax when you try to transfer the property onto your name. That's $6,000 out of a $200,000 property. And then you'll have 15 years of no tax payment. Because properties in the Dominican pay 1% tax a year above 144,000.
Oh, 144? I thought it was 150.
It moves depending on where the dollar is at. That amount would be, it's always in pesos. So it would move as the dollar moves. So dollars higher, that amount would be less.
Oh my God, y'all! That was so good that you pointed that out, because I didn't realize that was based on that fluctuation. I thought it was just a flat, no matter what the dollar was, the peso
because it's in a pesos amount, the exemption.
So I thought it was just a 150, and you pay that twice a year. I know, March and September.
But it's a total of 1% a year.
It's 1%.
But if you buy new construction with Comfort Tour, you're saving the yearly tax and you're saving that 3% transfer tax
for 15 years. Look out. Let us know, if that's a concern. Everybody wants to save money, and then we can go specifically look at those properties first, because you want to save that, definitely. Okay, very good, very good. So people have been commenting, how can they finance the property? So now we're going to talk about bank financing. How do I finance property in the DR? My number one on my list, kid you not, is bring lots of money. That's what I wrote down. Bring lots of money, because it said if you are buying a property less than $1.5 million, you're gonna be you have to put down 35% with the bank. You have to have a U.S. credit score of only 640. Which is really, really low for a U.S. credit score, because you can't get a bank loan with a U.S. credit score of 640. But then you don't have to put down 35% either. So, there's the difference. And it said that you must own a home in the U.S. or the U.K. in order to qualify for a bank loan here, to get a mortgage in the DR. They said you have to have a mortgage on property. I don't think it can be in the financing stage. I think it has to be property that's already paid for, and I'm going to double check that, because I think that's what she said.
Some banks are flexible.
Some banks are flexible, but it has to be equal in value to what you're buying here. So you can't own no shade, but you can't own a $30,000 or a $15,000 trailer park house in the U.S. shade, and then come here and think you're gonna get a mortgage for a $200,000 apartment. Absolutely not. They are not going to help you. So make sure that the home that you own in the U.S. is comparable to what you're trying to buy here in the Dominican Republic. And it says it's not impossible to get, but it says they only approve 1 out of every 12. I mean, that's a good number. 1 out of every 12. I mean, not good if you're number 10, but you know what I'm saying?
If you're number 13 or 12, then you lucked out.
So 1 out of every 12 is what she told me. Some lenders will do a 20%, and they said it's going to be between 4 and 7%. But it's still, remember, you've already given you 35% of the total of that house. Then the rest of it you're going to finance for 20 years at anywhere from 4 to 7%. I mean, you might as well save your money and buy a mansion, because at the end of the day, that's what that $200,000 property is costing you. The same cost of a mansion. This was something that one of several of my clients asked, could they use a VA loan here to buy property? I'm sorry, absolutely not.
No VA, no FHA.
No VA, no FHA. Y'all, those are American things. That's the U.S., United States, Dominican Republic, different country. So none of that will apply here. Okay, so what I know a lot of people are doing, because I had a couple of my clients, they did second mortgages on their houses.
Yes. Refinancing, second mortgage.
If somebody called me and asked me to do it, I'm saying, no, don't do that. You know, I mean, really, why are you gonna try to build your dream and ease your life and come here to paradise and end up with 2 mortgages?
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Don't do it. And Devlin and I, we sold everything and moved here. We have 1 residence.
Okay.
Now, I know you all lived in Boston, so do y'all have another home there?
We do.
And so why? Tell me. And not to be personal in your business, but
No.
you know, are you all planning to go back? This temporary?
At first, we wanted to get a feel of what it would
Okay.
be to live here before we sold our home.
Okay.
Now we're thinking about the kids. Maybe in the future, if they go back to Boston for school, they have
Okay.
a place to go to. And basically, we're just holding on to it for personal reasons.
Okay.
But it depends on how you're doing it. You know, we had the savings back in the U.S. and we were able to do it here because it's different for Dominicans. We get
Right.
a little
She's
bit
Dominican.
more. We get a little
Right.
bit more money from the bank. As a Dominican, you can get up to 90%
See?
from the bank, so it's
Perfect.
easier.
Yeah.
We don't want to crush people's dreams. We just want to
Right.
be realistic and give you the information so that you're not disappointed once you hear all this and you fall in love with the property and then
Right.
we hit you with the payment plans.
Yeah.
We just want everybody to know the situation is different. Banks are different. Some are more flexible than others. Larger
Yes.
banks are
Yeah.
more strict. Smaller banks usually they have less money, but they are hungrier
Yes.
for new clients. So
Definitely.
every situation would be different, but you do need a larger down payment than you
Yeah.
would need in the U.S.
Right. So if it's your dream for an easier, simpler lifestyle, don't do a second mortgage on your home in the U.S. You know, just save your money and come here with I'm not gonna say lower expectations. Come here with a different mindset that you don't need as much as your home in the U.S.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like come here and do like we did. Get a 2-bedroom townhouse and call it a day, or 2-bedroom apartment, something like that, and then something that you can afford to buy outright. And then that way you don't add stress to what's supposed to be a peaceful lifestyle. You know, that's what we're just trying to help you. All right. We talked about the credit score. 2 years tax return, because somebody was asking me what did they require for the
Yes.
mortgage. That's the main thing, is a 2 years tax return. And then you have to come with your property that you own in the U.S., because remember, they're going to check for the value of it. And it says
Bank statements of the
that
last
all
6
of-
months.
Yeah, all of the bank statements, all of your ID, if you're still working. And one thing that one of the viewers asked me is, could you be self-employed? Absolutely. As long as you're filing taxes in the U.S., self-employed is okay. People who do work for an employer, they do want some type of letter showing you're in good standing,
A
or that you have a
contract.
contract. Right, you know, those type of things. So there's a lot involved with getting a loan in a foreign country.
Yes.
So what would you say to them? So they try to get the loan in the U.S. This is just their dream. They're ready to do it now. They're not gonna take my advice and say save money later and do it. So what would you advise?
I would say get pre-approved.
Absolutely.
To get a better idea of how much you would qualify for, you need an appraisal. That's what the bank is going to require. But we can have an idea of how much you would qualify for if you get all these documents together while you're still home. You
Right.
can use a real estate agent to get all those documents together with you and send to the bank to see what kind of loan you would be pre-approved for. Have a property in mind, a budget in mind.
Right.
And then once the bank says, yeah, we can pre-approve you, now we need that appraisal, then we find the property that you're looking for.
Okay.
With the properties that are in construction, there's nothing to appraise yet. So
Right.
banks would not lend money on properties that are in construction. For that, you would have to wait until the property is at least 90% completed, so an appraiser can come into the property and there's something for him to appraise.
Got it. Very
so
good.
For the people looking for bank financing now, it has to be a moving ready property. If it's something that you're looking for into the future, make sure, I like to tell my clients, make sure that this property you're putting a deposit on that is in new construction, make sure in the end you're going to have the money, because I don't want to be the person to tell you that you couldn't come up with the money and now you're disappointed.
And the other money is not refundable.
It's not refundable. The money that you paid during the construction project, period. So make sure that you will be ready.
Yes.
To come up with the 60% in the end, so that you don't lose your money.
Because you will lose your money.
Yes.
Absolutely. And there are, oh my God, if you're in the Facebook groups and the expat groups, and there are people complaining and they feel like that the builders and the project developers did them wrong. But no, you didn't read all your contract, and now you're in a Facebook group begging for advice. But, you know, so you just got to do your homework and do your research, you know, when it comes to when buying properties and things like that. A subscriber asked me, who holds the money with Vista Cana? Does their lawyer hold the money in the escrow account, or does the developers hold the money, since you're paying your
The developers holds the money.
The developers
you
hold
do
the money.
Get a deposit. Some developers have an escrow account, and they make you sign an escrow contract. So some of them do, some of them don't, but they still give you a contract. Don't give any money. Of course, this is the process. You put down a deposit, let's say $2,000, $5,000. Then you send your 10%, and right after you send that 10%, they give you a contract. Why do they do that? $2,000 is not enough of a commitment for them to hire a lawyer to create a contract for you. Once you send that 10%, now you're committed with them. They know you're buying.
You're serious.
And then they'll put together a contract for you so that you sign, and with that they acknowledge that they have your 10%, the deposit that you gave, and that you have a payment plan for until the completion of the project, and that you're coming up with that 60% at the end. Every construction is different. Some ask for 10%, some need 15%. The shorter the construction time, the more money you have to give. But I recommend working with a lawyer or a real estate agent, someone that can work with you on the process of getting that contract together, making sure you get your receipts, making sure you know where you're sending the money. It really helps being that middle person between the construction company and the buyer.
And it really does. A lot of people, I've seen, and this was new to me, but I went to a couple of new projects and they said no third parties. And I was like, well, who's the third party? Me? I'm the third party? I was like, I'm the third party? What?
Yeah.
And so there are lenders and builders that don't work with real estate agents at all. So you go and you buy from them. And so then it's like, I can't help you. You know, when things go wrong, or when they say your property is going to be ready in November and it's not going to be ready till March or April of the next year, you don't really have any recourse, because all of your business has been done directly with them. So if that sign is out there, no third parties, if you're my client, we're not going to see it. Sorry. I'm going to tell you not to go see it. And then maybe those builders and developers will change how they're doing business, because, you know, you can't just try to cut out everybody just to, you know, save money, when we're the people that's working hard to show your property and advertise and do all of that, you know. And I thought that was so crazy, and it really said no third parties. We were like,
I wouldn't do it. I'm a Dominican. I'm Dominican. I speak Spanish. And when I bought property, I hired a real estate agent, because you know, there's information that I don't understand, there's processes that I don't understand, and even as a Dominican, I want my paperwork. I want things to show me that you don't owe any taxes, that you don't owe anything on the property, and that's what a real estate agent usually helps with, making sure that there's no debt on that property. That's maybe huge. Direct buyers wouldn't know. You know, things to ask, things to ask, and things that would keep you from buying that property legally. So again, like you said, do your research so that then you're not in a Facebook group unhappy about the things that happened to you.
Because they are there. I just laugh at it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what? And then who was your realtor? You know, if you're claiming you did have a realtor, then your realtor didn't do a good job, because you shouldn't be having all these questions in the expat group. If I see any of my past clients in there asking questions of boss, I know I went over with y'all. I'm gonna come and break every one of your fingers. I'm just threatening you. You know, I'm
and
muscle.
Also hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
Look for somebody online and look at their reviews. I don't want to recommend anybody.
Yeah.
If they ask me for a recommendation, I recommend somebody that I work with. But I also say, look online, ask on the Facebook groups, look at reviews, ask a friend. You know, hire your own lawyer so you don't think this is you know,
I did it because I'm getting extra money and all that kind
hire
of
whoever
stuff.
you want.
Right. And I'm just telling you who I like and who I work with, who I found to be credible. And so that's how that goes. But okay, any last words for these payment plans and mortgages and financing? Anything?
Last thing is interest rates in the country are really high compared to U.S. and Canada. So don't be shocked. It's just a country that is growing financially. So we don't have the financial stability and strength that larger countries have to offer a 2% interest rate or
there's
4%.
No FDIC here.
Yes.
So, you know, they have a different system of how your money is secured in the bank, but it's not like the FDIC, the whole banking situation in the United States. So, you know, just think about it, guys. You're buying in a foreign country. So I say save your money, come to one of us and pay cash. And that just goes so much faster. I just love the cash deals. I'm just going to be honest, do the cash deal. But we're here, you know, for people who don't want to put all their cash into it right away. We're still here for you, and that's what this show is all about. And if you still have questions, do not hesitate. Put them right there in the comments. Remember, Ebony Ladies in the DR every Thursday. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share button 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if we have to do a follow-up to a follow-up to a follow-up, we'll be back. The dynamic duo Punta Cana. We will come back and follow up again with more questions.
Okay.
But I think we nailed it this time. High five. Let me get a high five. High five. We did that. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.